Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you, not from Houston, Texas this morning. I'm in the great state of Florida, Boca Raton, Florida this morning. Yeah, that's the little city just between Miami and Fort Lauderdale area. For the people who know this area, yes. I was here this weekend. My son had a basketball tournament here in Florida. So it's over now, so I can just relax today and have a good time here in Florida, then head back to Houston tomorrow. But good morning, but I'm still reporting live from Florida this morning. Let me give you a little peek of I'm on the terrace here of the hotel. So look what's my view right now. I can just turn the camera, give you guys a little view. This is what I'm looking at. I'm reporting from this morning. Yes, guys. So anyhow, but I'm gonna still do what I need to do. So yes, for the first time listeners, good morning, Mr. Everett Williams. How are you doing? Yeah, for the first time listeners, I usually get some exercise in the mornings and I share my thoughts with you guys. But today, I'm gonna just probably go and enjoy a beach or a pool or something, and here in Florida, and that's going to be my exercise for today. Swimming is a good exercise. But yes, I'm going to get into this morning here, guys. I'm going to get into this because we were talking about these abominations. Let me take a little seat here. You can be comfortable. We were talking about these abominations here from Deuteronomy 18:10. Deuteronomy 18:10, right? So let me go through this quickly here, read it, and then I can tell you which one we can be doing this morning. Mr. Osmond Smith, good morning, sir. So it said, there shall not be found among you anyone who maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire. That's the one we've been talking about this morning, but I'm going to read the whole thing. Or that useth divination, we discussed divination already, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits. We talk about familiar spirits already. Or a wizard or necromancer. We talk about all of those already, right? So this morning we're going to explain this one. We're talking about don't let your son or your daughter pass through the fire. Mr. Keith Tellman, good morning. So that's what we're going to explain this morning, but making your son or your daughter pass through the fire, right? So let's look at some other scriptures first to talk about this practice. This pass through the fire, what they're talking about. This, back in the days, the Ammonites, they usually actually physically throw the children, the babies, in this big fire. It's like a big furnace, and throw them in there. Miss Wilma Freeman, good morning. Yes, they would throw the kids in this fire as a sacrifice to the god called Molech, right? When they want whatever they're going to the god for, they would actually throw the children in that fire as a human sacrifice to their god to get whatever they're going to the god for, right? So God's saying you don't do that. Don't be sacrificing your children. So let's look at some other scriptures who talk about this practice, and then we can explain what that means today and how you're doing it today. Because if you just throw your children in a fire and kill your children, that's a crime, right? You're going to jail. You're going to jail for that. So let's see how it's done today. I can explain how that's done today in today's time without people going to jail, right? Well, let's look at a few more scriptures. We'll talk about this practice. In Leviticus 18:21, it said, do not give your children to be sacrificed to Molech. That's the same god of the Ammonites, the Molech. For you must profane the name of your God. So he's saying, God, I'll be angry when you sacrifice your children, right? So this King Manasseh of Judah, he was a really wicked one and do a lot of these practices. So this is in 2 Chronicles 33:6. This is talking about this King Manasseh. So he sacrificed his sons in the fire in the valley of Ben Hinnom, practiced sorcery, divination, and witchcraft, and consulted mediums and spiritists. He did much evil in the eyes of the Lord, provoking him to anger. Every time you see this Bible talk about did evil in the eyes of the Lord, most times they're talking about these practices here, right? So you see what he did. He sent his kids through the fire, sacrificed his sons in the fire. Then he practiced sorcery, divination, which all the abominations we'll be talking about. He did all of these things come together, right? Let's go and see Jeremiah 32:35 talk about. He said they build high places for Baal in the valley of Ben Hinnom, the same valley, like it's a big place to sacrifice. They build high places for Baal in the valley of Ben Hinnom to sacrifice their sons and daughters to Molech. Though I never commanded, nor did it enter my mind that they should do such a detestable thing and should make Judah sin, right? So there's a lot more scriptures to talk about these practices. That I just give you 3 of them there, but there's a lot more scriptures to talk about these practices, right? So he's saying, okay, what that mean today? Because I don't see no one throwing the kids in fire and all of that. So how to apply to us today in today's world, right? So how to apply to us today? When people go to these witchcraft people to get whatever they want, the people want to tell them, well, you need to sell me a child or sell me your children, right? And you might like, what do you mean, sell me my child? What do you mean? He said, no, that means nothing. It's nothing. You just bring me some photographs of the, if it's a particular child that need you to sell them, just bring a photograph or bring a photograph of your family. And that's all you got to do. Just recite these 2 little things here and you're good. You know, you're facing jail time. You're facing a life sentence in jail. You know, this is nothing. You don't got to do nothing at all. You just bring me these photographs. You just repeat these 2 little things here and you're done. It's nothing. You're like, okay, man, that's nothing. I just bring a photograph and, you know, I facing a life sentence in court, or I want to get rich, or whatever you want happen, you know, you go and the people say, just bring a photograph of them, just sell me your children, and that's fine. But what that means, well, you don't know what it means spiritually, is at the appointed time when those spirits at the altar, they're going to take full control of your children's lives, right? They're going to take full control of your children's life at the appointed time. Because many of you probably might know, you went to school with some people, they're very intelligent, they're smart, maybe they're the most popular kid in the school, and all of a sudden, in adult, a certain time, they grow up. Next thing you know, they're gone crazy, they're gone staring crazy. Or they're out walking the street, or they end up in some mental institution, and you're like, what happened to this guy? He was the most popular kid in the school. All of a sudden, or they got some families that just can't get married. People just can't get married. Beautiful women and men, and they're educated, got good jobs, and they just can't get married. Because all depends on what the spirit of the altar decide they're going to do when you sell them your children, because they now have total control. Sharon Wong, how are you doing this morning? They have total control now of your children. And then too, if you look at a lot of people who does this witchcraft and does this kind of stuff, most times you might see they have a child that what we might call special needs. Right? What's called special needs. Got that spirit to tell them also, if you want more powers in this thing, you got to sell me one of your child. Sell me one of your children. So most time you see they might have whether the one, the oldest, the youngest, the middle child, whatever they call for, they got to sell it to them. And then you see the child is like a special needs child. Anybody you know who does these things, look and you see they probably got a special needs child, because that spirits what they're dealing with call for one of the children, for you to sell me one of your children, right? So that's how our next cause of generational curses come along. You might see some families, guys, and these things you always want. I used to always want. They got some families that we might got a boy and a girl in the family, and the boy wants to be a girl. He dressed like a girl. He is a girl, and the girl, she's a boy. It's like they're just kind of mixed up, right? The boy wants to be the girl wants to be the boy. All of these will be the result of people selling their children. That's a reason they go, and the spirit take control of those children's life at a certain point in time, or whatever's the agreement is made there. That's what's going to happen, right? People dying at a certain age. People dying at a certain, some families, it's all at they reach 45 or 50 or 30, and boom, whatever age it is, and people just dying at this age, and that's, the rest of the generation going on scared when they're coming on to 50 or 45, whichever age is that, they already preparing for their demise, because they know mommy died, mommy's sister, the granny, this 50, that protects. So these kind of things here, it can be a result of what the modern day way of these sacrifices, where people selling their children, or certain type of sicknesses ravaging some families, so all of these things is generational culture. That's how people do this, these sacrifices of the children today. But back in the days, they could legally get away with that by just throwing them in this fire. But the enemy knows, if I can control you spiritually, that's the same as you throwing them in the fire. That's the same as you throwing them in the fire, because that they have control of that person's life. When you so say sell that child to them, you repeat certain incantations, what they can tell you to repeat. You bring the photograph, and they're gonna help you to get where you want to get. Because like if you got a court case, they might give you something to wear this red scarf, or wear this black scarf, or something they're gonna give you to go into court. You're probably facing a life sentence, but whatever they give you is a point of contact. And those evil forces can be there, nowhere to go, and they're going to influence the jury, they're going to influence the judge to rule in your favor. And all of a sudden, you hear this person facing a life sentence, and you wonder what happened to get off this case, and you're wondering what happened. But that's what happened. They go there, they say, sell me your child, or this was going to cost you, and they give them something to wear. They go in the courtroom, and they influence the judge, the jury, whoever making the decisions to rule in their favor, right? So this is what this kind of stuff goes on today. What that part of the scripture was talking about, do not let your children pass through the fire. God saying, do not sacrifice your children. Do not sacrifice your children to get no riches, to get itself. It's selfishness. It's selfishness, guys. So that's what a part of the scripture mean right there. And I'm gonna leave it there. But he's saying, do not sacrifice your children to get no riches, to get nothing. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, guys? That's abomination to him. So I can leave that there, and I can go today and enjoy my day here in Florida before heading back to Houston tomorrow, guys. So you guys have a great day, and we can talk again on Wednesday. Okay, bye.